We are live, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, Streamland? I am JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics, and I'm hanging out tonight with some of my homies who are also comic book creators. Guys, please introduce yourselves.
JD.
Marvin, you're on top, bro. You do it.
Oh, okay, I'm on top. What's on top? So Marvin Wayne from coming straight out of Comicsburg, writer of The Edge.
My man.
There you go. My name's JD Calderon. I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles, Tall Tales, and there you go. And a few other things.
How long have you guys been creating comic books?
Since like 2008.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What about you, Calderon?
Well, let's say I published my first book in '92.
Okay. Okay. That was
Because creating comics would be like 10 years before that. So
right. So all right. So you went official in '92. Marvin,
Right.
you went official in 2008, or you still
Yes,
filling yourself out?
Yeah, I would say 2008 is would have been the official run up date, because that was when we first actually started working on the title officially. I would say anything before that was Playtime.
Playtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can say I was officially 2008. And a lot of the other stuff was trying to figure out what to do first. Not right, but what to do first, right?
Well, trying to figure out what the rules are, because back then nobody wanted to share information on what the rules of the game were.
Right.
So how do you, as a creator, create when you don't know how to play the game? Like, there was no rules.
Mm-hmm. Did you felt that was the same way, Calderon? There was no rules. I mean, the internet was not even
no, and because of that, it was probably a little bit easier. There's a publishing company called Solson Comics, right? And they
I'm sorry, what was it called?
Solson Comics. Okay. And Sal Brodsky, that's he was one of the original Marvel guys. Created his own company.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, original Marvel. Saul Brodsky. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, he's one of the original Marvel guys, but he was like one of the executives. It wasn't like the creator. Okay. But his son created Solson, and he wrote a book, how to do independent comic, or how to produce comic books. And it was just a guidebook, a 32-page black and white comic on how to like publish books. They had printers, distributors, all kinds of stuff in there. Everything you need to publish a book. And look, it guided me right through it. So I only missed one important piece of information, which I should have figured out for my own, but I was 19, so I wasn't,
not all that important piece of information.
That at the time you could resolicit. That was very, very important. I didn't realize that because like I said, we were all 19, 20 years old. We were young, we were knuckleheads. Mm-hmm. And when we first printed, I printed like 3,000 books, and we ended up in the black. Nice. We ended up with a nice little profit, but I still had 1,200 of each copy of each book at least, right? And I could have turned around and resolicited with the second issues. Probably have gotten rid of a bunch of them.
Now, when you say resolicited, which distributors were you using?
Well, at the time there was about 14 of them. There was Diamond, there was Capital City, there was Styx, there was Friendly Franks, Heroes. I think it was Heroes something. It was Heroes something.
World, right?
It might have been. Yeah, it was Heroes World. Yeah.
That's a Marvel book.
Yeah. There was Comics Hawaii. There was a bunch of them, man. A bunch of really good ones. Capital City was excellent. Friendly Franks, all of them were really good. I mean, listen, and even Diamond was good. All of them were good.
Now, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but we also have somebody here with us tonight who is publishing and distributing through Diamond with his first book. You got one book, or you got two books out through Diamond right
now? Comicsburg, we got two books. So The Edge and Beowulf.
The Edge and Beowulf.
Yes, sir.
And when you were doing your stuff, Calderon, did you have one book? You had more than one book coming out.
We had 3 books. I had we had Tall Tales, Reaver, and Dreamweavers.
Now, you said you resolicited, so that comes from the, excess inventory you had ordered, right, from the beginning?
No. I should have. I didn't know I could because that was available to me, and I didn't realize that was something I could have done, and I could have made a bit more coin back then, which would have been nice.
Because I remember hearing stuff about Laird and Eastman when they did Ninja Turtles. They excuse me, they had done their first 3,000 copies, right? But they ended up selling maybe about 15,000. So they kept reprinting. I think there was 4 or 5 different printings of the first issue.
Probably. I mean, at this point, there's probably like 50, but you know.
Well, don't count the IDW stuff that got reprinted recently, you know.
No,
but you know, Marvin, that's something that I guess you wanna get to, right? You want to move in the 5 figures, right? Did I lose it? Did we lose Marvin? Did he freeze?
I think Marvin Frozio.
We frozen? Am I frozen?
You were frozen.
Yeah. I'm back. Am I here?
Yeah, you're coming back. You're defreezing. There you go. You're frosted.
I mean, I think
I want to jump to tonight, Marvin. You don't want to freeze on us, brother.
I mean, I think that where we're at right now with the distribution model is there's not a lot of to be looked at in a situation where you have to be selling over 1,000 books. If you're not hitting 1,000 books, you're wasting your time. Okay. Because your profit margins through a single distributor are so razor thin that if you're not printing over 1,000 books, you're not getting that big discount. And then if you're not selling 1,000 books through that run, then you're going to have problems later on. I mean, you've got to print 1,000 books every time.
Okay.
Just to hit those, so you get that $1.50, $1.25 print margin run. Because if you're not, you're screwed.
Now, let me ask you. Now, for 1,000 books, I could imagine the price on it, because I haven't looked at Offset in a minute.
Yeah.
But what are you getting these days? What are you getting for a 32-page comic with a cover? What's the price looking at like these days for 3,000 books?
Like $1.50, $1.55.
At 3,000?
Yeah.
Shit.
Does that include the shipping?
Well, you know, cut the shipping off that. Yeah. Because
shipping after that, or shipping's included in that?
Included, because if you're depending on which printer you use, you can ship the diamond for free.
Right.
Right.
So okay, so here let's break this down a little bit, because Jesus, because when I was printing books, they were black and white. I had 2 48-page comics. I had 1 32-page comic.
Mm-hmm.
The 48 pages, I think, were running me like 60 cents a book, maybe 50. And now, mind you, I had cardstock covers with foil stamps.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do a red foil and a gold foil. The gold foil was limited to 500 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if I had I don't even think it was that much. I don't even think it was 50 cents. It might have been 40 cents.
Yeah.
You know, but this was 92. This was like for
right.
All right, so let's roll it up. So about a few years before the pandemic, I was using BNR, and BNR for a 24-page offset, I was paying about $1.10.
Mm-hmm.
How many pieces though? How many units?
That was 2,000 units.
Yeah.
2,000 units.
Right. I didn't go 3,000 because I didn't think I was going to move it. It's gonna bring it down. What, another 10 cents?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're still going to get those kind of prices the more you go up. So when you get to 4,000, 5,000, the prices come down more.
Right.
But in the new realm, the $3.99 comic book is done for. It's over.
Well, at those prices, certainly.
Yeah.
Because the thing is,
it's done. It's over.
Yeah. If you're not getting the books printed at anywhere from 60 to 80 cents, you're not making any money.
Yeah.
Right. But right now, to print 60 to 80 cents, you got to be putting up about 6,000, 7,000 units, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I understand it. Well, do it the way we did it. I mean, we
right, gang printing. But how many people are doing that, right? So for people watching,
that's because for people watching, don't be a knucklehead. Call your friends, right, and try to align, right. Get your stuff all aligned. And look, I worked with a print broker, and he was able to get us 9 books, 32 pages, full color cover, full color interiors. What, 65 cents per book?
Yep.
You know, I mean, you know, that
we ran 3,000 units, right?
Right.
The entire order was $27,000.
Yeah. Well, 27,000 units. Yeah. 9 times 3.
Right, but we dropped 1,800 times 9.
Yeah, it was about, yeah. Well, the cost on it was about 17.5, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so you rounded up 1,800.
Right. Yeah, it's all in volume. So
right.
I mean,
right.
Any
Marvin, we're losing you, baby.
We're losing you, baby.
Marvin sounds like he's auditioning for.
I'm frozen again, and I'm plugged in too. I'm plugged in.
That's some wild shit, kid.
Hold on,
is it bad out there?
Let me turn off my other browser because it's like I'm like peeking over watching Elimination Chamber. So let me turn it off.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's probably
what's could be it right there.
I'm streaming. I can do like 4 things at one time. I'm a professional. So yeah, so like I was saying is that the for an independent publisher, don't even try $3.99. Don't do it. I don't. Right. I mean, whatever you have to do to get that dollar up. I mean, you're almost in the mode where $4.99 is about to go under.
Right, and that's for a 32-page traditional book.
Yes.
Right. So Cedric Hood is asking, were the majority of those units actually sold or no? So I don't know if he's talking about Calderon or me. With my 2,000 units, yeah, I was selling all of those over the course of the conventions I was going to. So was it an immediate sell on the drop for me? No, but did I make good margin on the lifespan of those books on the sell through? Yeah, I did. What about you, Calderon?
Well, here's the way we worked it, because I did a collector's version and a reader's version, right? So we had a collector's version, which was the expensive book. There were $5 on the cover.
Okay.
And that's the one with the foil covers, cardstock. And then we had a reader's version, which was on newsprint. And those books were like, I think we were charging like $1.50 for them at the time. And we sold combined probably about 4,000 copies each, because I did 3,000 of each, right? So I ended up with 2,000 books of each. And of those 2,000 was 500 gold books. All the gold books sold, because we would sell those at conventions. Those were like $10 a pop. And those just flew. I mean, I still had, because I swear to God, I sold a ton of those books. And I think the printer just really overprinted. And I had cases and cases and cases of this. I still have cases to this day. I still have cases.
Wow. Of the ones from way back when, right?
Yeah. But
I mean,
we went into the black and I made money.
That's almost another cost, though. So if I'm going through Diamond, I print 3,000 books, I sell 1,000.
Right.
Where in the world am I putting 2,000 books at?
Right. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, they don't know what to do with that, right? I got room under my mattress, right? We don't have a box spring anymore. I mean, it's a joke, but no, I do have a storage unit, right? So I pay that storage unit for
right. So there,
and I keep a lot of it. Right. That's an extra charge, right? But I got a ton of shit in there, right? I got shirts, I got books, I got other tchotchkes. And is all of it for the comic book stuff? No, I got an apartment in New York, so there is some overflow. But when it comes to you, Marvin, again with Diamond, all right. So you printed up 3,000 units for this order?
Oh no.
Okay.
Not even close. I mean, I went 1,000 because the printer gave us a really good deal.
Okay.
So I said that we're going to make a profit. It's razor thin, but it's going to be enough to kind of like roll over and then see what happens with issue 2.
Okay, so you are going. It's already en route to Diamond, or still in the.
I think it should be. Books should probably ship next week.
So tell us a bit about the book and when it's going to be on the shelves. What's up?
So right now it's on schedule for March 8th.
Mm-hmm.
But we in a lot of the situations things slide up and slide down. But I mean, with this book, I kind of got a little bit of burned a little bit. So you guys are Comics Hub, right?
Yes.
So a lot of stores and I'll move into that in a second. But Comics Hub is I think what is it 100 maybe 200 300 stores are using Comics Hub.
Okay.
Right.
So the new catalog came out, and I immediately go to Comics Hub because I'm connected with multiple stores on there. So I would go in there to order books. Mm-hmm. So there was a Bandit Bards had new stuff out with Dan's American Dream book, and then there was a few other friends' books that were released. So I was like, all right, I'm ordering. So I go look for The Edge, can't find it. I see Beowulf, but it doesn't have a publisher attached to it. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I sent them a message. They said there was like some error with the CSV or whatever. Okay. So they put The Edge up. It was up for maybe a week, and then it disappeared again. So I'm pretty sure that I lost sales there. And also, Diamond listed the book as mature because they don't have a like. To me, I say the book is PG-13, like a traditional new comic book movie. So that meant mature to them. So they put it as mature. I think I got
really?
Yeah. So then it was supposed to originally come out March 1st. Then our rep said, okay, I'll pull the mature off and we'll push the book back. And actually, I got more orders in from that because
they took the mature off.
Yeah. So I had to stop the presses because I had orders that came in.
All right. So, for those who are watching that are indie and that are doing the crossover from crowdfunding to going into distribution, you get accepted. What's your first step?
The first step is for the solicitation process. So when you're dealing with Diamond now, everything is through a person. I mean, I think they could get their website up and running for this kind of stuff because all the buttons and things are there for you to upload, put your solicitation information in, put up your preview page, and everything is there, but they're not using it. The site's pretty archaic. I mean, I logged in, I got nothing but errors for it. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you have a open communication with whoever your rep is going to be, and making sure that they have the right information at the right time, because you've got like very, very thin time to get those books into them so they get into the previews. You got like a week or two between each month for the book. Everything is moving at such a fast pace that you can get overwhelmed with it. And if you're not on top of it, then you're going to miss, and you're going to be, all right, so it's going to be the next catalog or the catalog after that or after that. Just missing those windows, it makes it a little hard. So I would say the first thing you do is make sure you have all your solicitation information for every book you're going to put in ready to go. I would put it like on Google Drive or any other of those share sites and go, hey, here's everything you need. It's labeled by month. Hit it each month, go in, you have the information ready. You don't have to even talk to me. It's already there, and it's just like how many pages in it, good and go.
So they don't give you like a template form to fill out. You got to do that.
Oh, yeah. You get a like an Excel. Where you have to fill in. Yeah.
Okay. Now, with that 2-week window, so I guess I'm assuming that in that 2-week window, they're bogged down with so many other things that you, being the little guy in the totem pole, are going to get overlooked. So they leave it up to you to try to figure out.
I would say I think our rep has been very communicative. Like if we email him, he gets back to us pretty fast. Good. So he's doing a really good job. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's got multiple people that he's dealing with. So he does a really good job of communicating back, and we keep an open email thread open just in case of questions and things like that. So I wouldn't say that the problem most of the time isn't on their end. I think most of the problem is on the creator's end of not getting the right information to the person at the right. That's why I said that do everything up front, and that way you can make edits as you go. But don't be that person that says, "Hey, why isn't I in this catalog?" when you didn't get them the information.
So, all right, you're in Comics Hub, off and on during that window, right? They fixed the mature rating. Your sales go up. You say about 200 to 300 of the stores are using Comics Hub.
Yeah.
How much of your sales do you think came from Comics Hub, and how much do you think came from just being in catalog and you doing your own legwork?
I would say it's almost impossible to tell, unless I specifically ask the store their order, then there's no way to know. It's a question mark, and one of the stores one of the local stores said they had already ordered, but I wasn't in Comics Hub, so I'm assuming they ordered from the catalog. I don't know. Okay. Who knows? But they had some complaints about Comics Hub too, and I mean they said they've been having problems with it for a while. So I mean this probably isn't something new, because not my book was missing, a bunch of other people's books were missing from the site too.
Oh wow. Okay, so this is a regular occurrence for Diamond.
For Comics Hub. I don't know how they do it. I'm assuming they just get a CSV and they upload it from a CSV. And if a row isn't right in the CSV, you know what happens when you upload a CSV. If one of the rows is broken, it can either say skip it or it'll say dump the whole thing. I do with CSVs a lot in IT. So if something's not right, then it's going to just like, you know what, get it out of here.
All right, so that's done. Do they tell you which stores order your books?
No, I asked, and I did ask, and that's proprietary information to them.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they won't let you know that.
So how the fuck do you know? Excuse me. How do you know to reward the people that, all right, this store ordered 50 copies from you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you tell them? Yeah, I want to get down, man. I want to say thank you to you.
Right. So, I mean, the only way you can do that is that you're going to have to use the list and contact these stores and get them to sign up for a newsletter or something to sign up for, to say like, okay, so we want to do a kind of like you said, like a rewards to your store. Mm-hmm. I have no idea if you ordered the book or not, but if you come and sign up on my site and I get your email address, then we'll send you something. And if we find out that you ordered by some means, then we'll send you swag. But like we like, all right, we'll send out posters, we'll send out stickers, whatever. But if you are signed up, then you get like the special covers that Diamond doesn't get. So,
I find the parallels ironic, because people are always complaining how Kickstarter has that proprietary information that they're not giving you their emails of those that sign up for the pre-launch. Right. That's nothing compared to what Diamond is holding back, right?
Right.
If they knew, they wouldn't be complaining.
Right. Well, if you knew who was ordering your books, what do you need Diamond for?
Right. Right. Also, the other parallel is people complaining about the 8 or 9% or 7% or whatever it is that Kickstarter takes out, when you got to chop off 60% in Diamond.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
And they complain about 9%. I'm like, that's nothing.
Exactly.
That's like 9%. Dude.
Exactly. But I mean, it's a door. It's a door that's open, and it's something that as a singular person, and I even find it a challenge to communicate with 200 stores. Right. So as a singular person, how do I communicate with 2,000?
Mm-hmm. Now, Marvin, I got a question for you. It's a little bit more on the business technical end. Have you thought of, like you mentioned, Band of Bards? Do you know those guys?
Yeah.
So have you considered talking to them and maybe saying, hey, can I piggyback my print run with you guys? To maybe get a deeper discount.
Right. So, I mean, now that you say it, I mean, it's probably the best idea in the world. I mean, and it's not just those guys, but also Devils Do. any of these ones that are, small print publishers, it probably makes sense to find out who they're using and just piggyback, like you said, piggyback off of them on doing print runs to get your costs down. It makes the most sense in the world.
Right. Because that'll bring their costs down, maybe a penny or two, but those penny or two, man, that adds up, and that adds up fast.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then that'll definitely bring your core costs down.
Yes.
Jay, get off your phone.
Give me 1 second.
I gave you 2 seconds.
Keep hanging out. Keep rocking, guys. I'm sorry.
Right. So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's all about saving as much money just to keep your margins straight, because like as running a business, you can't lose money every time you ship a book.
Right.
But I mean, you think of it like this. So, and this is why it makes the most sense. And I want to wait till he comes back to talk about the Comics Pro thing. But even at conventions, like the one thing that we always do is we go and hunt down stores at conventions, or if we find out there's stores nearby the Airbnb or wherever, or the convention, hit those stores up and say, hey, we got this book. We know we'll be able to. We'll do like 40% off the cover, and we get rocking and rolling, and then we get them on the list of stores that we deal with, and then they get the swag and everything else, and that helps sell the book. It's very rare that if I drop a book at a store that they don't immediately, it doesn't sell out. Like there isn't very many stores where the books are just sitting around hanging out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, I think as a community, especially with the smaller publishers, like, like I've spoken to Ben Dunn. I've never asked him if he would be willing to do that sort of situation where, like, have another publisher, piggyback or hook up with his print run to try to bring down costs, And and I know Ben and Anthony Press, they got that stuff. That's a machine they got over there. So they're like, they're hammering it. But yeah, I think that's something you should definitely look into, man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it makes the most sense in the world. But until someone says it, it's in the back of your head. But when someone says it out loud, you're like, yeah, why didn't we do that?
Well, listen, there's always issue 2, issue 3.
Right.
Yeah. Now, the other question I got for you is, obviously you got your sales for number 1. Have you gotten your sales in yet for number 2?
We pushed number 2. I think that'll be in April's preview
catalog. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, I mean, it's I'd like to do monthly. It's always something that I want to do, and I can because I have so many books done.
Right.
It's just the management part of it is what's really difficult. And to me, as someone who's wearing all the hats, I can't do it.
Right.
It's too daggone stressful. It's too trying to keep up with the orders and everything else, and trying to create at the same time. I don't know, man. I just and every day I think about it, man. I wish a publisher would come and talk to me because I just like every day I get up and I'm like, all right, so day job. And then when I'm done with that, I like take a little mind break, and then I get up and do either I'm writing or I'm doing logistics. And most of the time I'm doing logistics more than I'm writing, and that's bad right now.
Gotcha. Hold on, Cedric got a question.
Yeah.
You want to read it, or you want me to read
it? She's got. Do you think that if the comic industry continues the path it's going and local comic stores continue to close? They're closing all in Jersey, where I am. Do you think if most LCS close, indie creators may make more money if a customer can mainly buy comics directly from us through campaigns and Comic-Con? So, yes. Well, I think that's a 2-tier question. So, yes, but how do they find you? I think that's where our biggest problem is that you can find, like, you got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got Instagram. You're missing so many people who are not using those tools. Yes. And if they are using it and they don't know about, how do you find these people that want to buy books if it's not in a physical location where someone off the street just walks in and says, hey, what do you got that's new?
Well, you know, it's funny. How do you find those people? I think that goes back to a statement you said prior to me signing off for a little bit. Uh, that Diamond has that's proprietary,
Yeah.
right? And that legwork, right? Building that newsletter, building that community of people that want to follow you, that want to know about your product. That's the thing that you hold close to your vest, right? That's the thing that you can take from platform to platform, right? Um, I'm scared. I'm scared going through this whole conversation with you, Marvin, because you know you're telling me this stuff, and one of the things I think that people don't know that they're not factoring in is this is your second run, right? So you already paid for the artwork on this book, you know, with the Kickstarter release. So if it wasn't for that, I'm thinking you would be in the hole right now, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
right. And fuck for all of us, for indie creators, that we, you know, the point is to not be in the hole, right? We want to make money, but if we're breaking even, we're fucking happy, right?
No,
give me 1 second.
Some of us are. Some of us are okay with it.
Because here's the thing: if I break even, I can't feed my artists. Right. So I can't break even. I have to make money. Right. So I have to make some money, so I could just keep feeding the beast. Right. So yeah, I mean, breaking you. I mean, because that's the problem. That's why I'm like, you know, you when you were saying the prices for the printing was $1.50. You know, $1.10. I'm like, what the hell is that? Those are crazy numbers.
Right, but I mean, you're still have a paper shortage. That's still
right, which still makes no damn sense to me.
Right. I mean, but again, it's a thing where someone's telling you there's a shortage of things, and maybe there isn't really a shortage of things. It's just a matter of who's getting what.
Right.
So it's the guy who can kind of twist the arm of someone, or can pay a little more, or has that boat. They can get the paper to them. Other people have to wait.
Yeah. Or it just could be printing in bulk. You know what I mean? If you can afford the bulk, you can get it pushed forward. You know, that's why, like I said, I was advising, you know, trying to like do that.
Yeah, just load up that credit card. That's all right.
What? Load it all your credit card? I mean, you know, you know, that's a horrible way to live life, bro. That's a horrible way to live life.
Right. So I mean, just to follow up on what Cedric is saying is that I've noticed the comic store closing thing, but at the same time, it's so one of the weirdest thing about this thing now is that you're seeing like New York, New Jersey, LA shops closing. Well, Pittsburgh is opening shops. Like I think we just opened 2 new shops just opened recently in Pittsburgh.
Well, there's shops that have opened in New York too.
Yeah.
You know, not in the last month, but there was a shop that opened up right towards the end of the pandemic in Greenpoint. You know, there's a shop that expanded right from Brooklyn to Queens, and that's Demetrios with Anyone and Everyone Comics, right? He opened up a secondary location. So I mean, it's still business, and I think one of the problems is that a lot of people don't realize this is business, right? They extend the at-home collection hobby, right? They're like, oh my god, I love this. I got all this inventory. Let me see if I can make a living out of this, and they end up losing their lunch. Not everybody, right? But you know, some people dive into the fucking end of the pool, you know, without learning how to swim, and they get burned.
And to me, I think that you as a creator need to spread your wings a little more and expand your reach. So it's not just comic shops. How about pharmacies, grocery stores, local like 7-Eleven stores like that. I mean, we're there nearby here. There's a pizza shop that sells gaming cards. We're going to go approach them about, do you want to carry comics? You got other stuff here that's comic related.
Right.
So now you say that, so when they deliver food, they have a postcard in there that has cards on one side, and then the menu on the other side. So, okay, so can we throw in a card with our stuff on it, and will you do deliveries? So I mean, I mean, expand.
You know, one of the things that people don't know, and this is coming from Calderon show is there's quite a few boutique distributors out there, right? That they're moving stuff into head shops, they're moving stuff into non-traditional comic shops, right? Into craft stores, into party stores, and they're doing that. Is it consignment based? Yes. So you got to send in a product, and it's on them to sell it, right? But it's different than going into Diamond, where they're distributing, and you still got to be the one to do the legwork, right? The boutique distributors, they're the ones doing the majority of the lifting. Of course, you got to do your part too, right? But that's something that's going to add to your overall revenue streams. So, am I content to be breaking even? No. Is it better than being in the red? Hell, fucking yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But
right? But I'm playing a bigger game than some other people are. And I'm not playing the game that Marvin is playing, but I am buying it. Right?
Not yet. Now hold on. Here's some other things that strategies, right? Like Marvin, are you The Edge? That's your book. So is that a limited series? Is that an ongoing? What are you doing with that?
It's ongoing.
Yeah. Okay. Now we all know how this game works. We've heard it before. Argument's sake, let's say you get a sales of, I don't know, 5,000, right? Just for argument's sake.
Yeah.
The second issue is going to come in at 2,500.
Yeah.
2,200.
Yep.
The third issue is going to come in at like 1,500. The fourth issue might bump up a little.
Right.
There might go up to 1,700, 1,800, and it might climb and then plateau at some point beyond that point. Now, the late great Barry Blair. I don't know if you remember him.
No.
Right? You don't know Barry Blair? Jesus Christ, man. Get an education. To quote Randy, get an education. What's wrong with you? Aerosol.
What do you do there, son? Tell me what Barry Blair worked on there.
Well, what Barry Blair would do, Barry Blair, man, let me tell you, late great, God rest his soul, Elf Lord, that was one of his books. But
I don't know Elf Lord. I know Elf Quest. I know the Deenies.
Yeah, that's nice. When I'm talking about,
but don't snap. Listen, no. Of the negative hundreds and negative hundreds that are watching right now,
right?
How many know what Elf Lord is? I don't know. Was he a self-publisher? I'm sorry.
Well, he was a self, but he owned a small publishing house, which was Aerosol Comics. Okay. Dale Keown got his start there doing Dragon Force and Dragon Ring. So I mean, just to give you an idea, right? But what he would do with his books is he would do 4-issue, not even arcs. He would Barry. Let me tell you, was hilarious. He had a series. He would run issues 1 through 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he knew that was his cutoff. And then he would launch another number 1 of that same title. And then 1 through 4. Now hold on, these were not arcs. It was just a continuous story. He didn't care. He would just chop it and just drop another number 1.
Yeah,
that's different.
Right.
Okay.
You gotta understand, it's a business strategy.
Right.
No different than, let's say, using alternative covers, good-looking girls on the covers of books. Is no different than any of that. I just say it because I'm like, the dude, he knew what he had to do. And my question is always, are we willing to do what we have to do to be a success?
I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought you were too, but I know you're not.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
What's that word you always like to use for me? Mamau. That's it.
I think everybody goes into the woods thinking they're going to find Bigfoot.
Yeah, I agree with that. With that. But you need that hope,
right?
Because that hope is going to carry you through
the woods.
Yeah, I know he doesn't go to the woods.
Well, or Leslie, everybody goes into the mountains looking for gold.
Okay.
Right. And then to tag on to that, right? The only ones that make money are the ones who are mining the miners. You like that?
There you go. Right. Exactly. You're the one running the mining company.
Right. Biggest. Go ahead, Colin.
Who's making the money on webtoons? Is it really the artist? or is it the guys who own webtoons?
No, it's the guys who own webtoons.
Exactly.
And I say this all the time, right? When I went to New York Comic Con this year, right, and I sat on the ICV2 panel, the guy from one of the reps from webtoons is there. And I don't know if I don't remember at this point if it was $890 million they made last year or $980 million, right? I remember it was top tier 3-figure, right, in the millions. So they made dough. Let's scale it down a little bit. And this is not a knock at all, at all. I think the person making the most money off of independent comic books right now, it's not any crowdfunding platform, but it's Comics Wellspring, right? Everybody's using them. Everybody's using the print on demand thing. And again, not knocking it, quality stuff, good customer service.
Yeah.
Right. But for a lot of people, that's still, entry level publishing. Don't get me wrong. They have great additives, and I'm not going to deny it. I use their foil stamped covers.
What is that? What it looks like? Wow.
That's what. They look fucking money. This is actually your set. So
there's fingerprints all over your books.
No, he had it with plastics.
He had a bag of boy. So they're great. They're great additives, right? And I'm charging a premium though for them, right? Mm-hmm. But then there's the offset, right? And the offset is where you really make the money. And the offset is, in my opinion, something that you're going to sell over time. It's not going to be an immediate sale. Right. So yes, you do have to figure out where you're going to store those books.
There you go.
There's no denying that. But if you're moving them, you won't have to worry about that for long. Or B, you've come up with a solution for you to continue to cycle, right? And have a place for the next run of product to come in.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where, like I said, is that you're expanding you're spreading your wings and expanding your horizons and trying to get books somewhere where normally you wouldn't find books. Right. And how to reach those other customers. That's why I said that, like the pizza shop thing, like if they're willing to put a card in that bag and the person is picking their food up and they see this card, I mean, you might get a sale. I mean, but that's reach. Like that's a person you couldn't reach in any other fashion. So, true. I mean, that's where you need to find ways to reach those people. You said, like Cedric was saying, it's like getting someone a direct sale to someone. But you have to be able to reach them. How do you reach those people that you don't know, that don't know you exist?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like you need that walk-up person, and that's where the walk-up person is. It's in another venture where you're piggybacking onto their onto what they're doing.
Right.
Now,
like it's almost like like
there's
the post office has that direct mail thing that you can do also. So that's another thing.
But there's things that people aren't thinking about because a lot of them are not business oriented, and that's understandable. That's not knocking them, right? Because they've got their head, so far down into their book. They really can't look up because they're busy, trying to put together a good product. Mm-hmm. But there is Facebook advertising. Yes, people always use that, right? There is paid sponsorship through Patreons for shows like this to get on-air mentions.
Yeah.
All right. So not just us, right? I'm doing this to have fun with you guys, right? But Calderon, you've got a show that's been running for a while, right? People can pay you for an on-air mention. You run a 2-hour show, right? Yeah. You can take 10 minutes. Here's, $50 gets you 10, 30-second spots or whatever the case, whatever the numbers work out, right? And you just take 5 minutes in between those 2 hours and you run those mentions. Marvin, you're on fucking shelves. I would have no problem if you said, Jay, I'll give you a spot. I'll give you a page. I'll give you half a page in the book. But, this is kind of expensive. A page costs me this much money. Mm-hmm. You think you could pay me cost for the page? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Or a little bit more. I'd have no problem doing that. Right. And these are the outside of the box, but really not outside of the box, that those of us in the community need to realize, right? So what does that do? That supports you, because at the end of the day, that's bringing down your overall, your overhead, and it's getting me a chance to reach people at the top of the funnel. And for those that don't know what the top of the funnel is, right? That's that first point interaction, that first impression somebody has with your product. How do you get them from the top of the funnel to follow the pathway down to find your product? So being on, somebody's ad in the book, it's top of the funnel. At this point, I feel comic shops are that for everything, right? That first interaction with people for a new book or for an existing book, right? That comic is top of the funnel. It's not a lost leader when you know that half of your advertising budget went to produce the book.
Now here's my thing, right? It's survivability, right? Because the thing is in the end, what's the survivability, right? Like Marvin, I don't know what your sales were, I don't need to know that. That's fine, but sustainability is important, right? So that's why I mentioned the thing about Barry Blair.
Yeah.
If your sales, you're gonna get that initial rush, and then it's gonna go slope down, and it's gonna come back up, hopefully, right? What other things do you think you could do to maybe start offsetting some of those dips, right? Alternative covers. You got a group book. I mean, I don't know if you're interested in doing something like good girl covers. You know what I mean? Like, alternative, sexy chicks on the cover books, other issues, whatever, I mean, what are you thinking about that? Like, what are you pursuing as far as that's concerned?
Right. So, I mean, that's one of the things I want to do moving forward with the book. Is this is why we did a new cover for each one, and we're going to do covers for anything that's already been in people's hands already. But we're going to do incentives. I didn't want to bust out with incentives right away. I wanted to save that for the next issue, because that's going to be where that dip's going to happen. Right. So, like, to help with that dip, you gotta push something out there. But I mean, I'm willing to try whatever I think will work. Like, I'll take a chance on something just to see if it'll work. I mean, we're gonna do like the trading card thing and other things like that. But it's like I said, it's about the survivability and keeping things alive, and not even keeping them alive, but keeping them fresh in someone's mind, so they know when they come back in the shop, hey, where's that edge at?
Right. So, did any shops that ordered from you already hit you up and like request PDFs, request anything special to help you promote the book in their shop? See, this how Diamond is not going to give you that info. Yes. Okay, good.
So that was one of the things we did when we were contacting the stores this time, is that we did do, hey, come to our website, sign up for our newsletter, and you'll get swag. Okay. But I mean, it's easy to do that around here. We've got 8-9 stores in the city, and then New Dimension is a chain, so they've got 5 shops. And I mean, it's really it's sometimes easier to push it locally than it is to push it internationally. But that's where and this is where the Comics Pro things comes in.
Right. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So Comics Pro is a yearly retail, I want to say, meeting. Diamond does something very similar with their Diamond Summit, where they pick a location, and this year it's in Pittsburgh, and retailers from around the world are going to descend on the Steel City, and we'll get to talk to them. So we'll get to not only talk to them, we get to talk to publishers. Diamond will be there, Lunar will be there. A bunch of other publishers will be there, so I'll get to talk with a bunch of other people that I've just talked to online and never met in person.
Right.
But then we get time with the retailers, so we'll have a table set up, and they'll get to come up to the table and talk to us on Thursday and Friday.
Now, when you say table, do you mean like a convention table, or do you mean like a banquet table where you meet with 8 or 9 people at a time?
Well, it'll be like a convention table. So we'll have a table set up, and we'll have a display and things set up, and they'll come up and they'll talk and they'll say, hey, blah blah. We've actually got a store coming in from Seoul, Korea.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So what do you got prepared to razzle dazzle them?
I got on the Comics Pro, they set up on it's a site called Unova. So it's like a convention site, and it gives you the ability to upload PDFs, videos, and you can actually talk with people on there. Like there's a chat feature.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah. So we're right now. My buddy is he's communicating with all the retailers on the list right now. He's doing it right now while I'm on the show.
Nice.
So you'll get feedback from there, and then it gives you a section called leads. So I'm going to give away what's left of the Edge coffee at the show.
Nice.
So it's a giveaway
Very
right now. So you
nice.
sign up, we get a lead, and then you get coffee.
Because these summits run all day. You want to keep them, wired, energized, and why not? What better way to keep them energized with the Edge?
Right. So we'll be. I think we start at 7 on Thursday. So we'll be from 7 to 10. So it'll be an all day thing in downtown Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So I mean, it looks like it's going to be something that's going to be really good to do. And this is the thing that we've been talking about doing for so long with indie with the whole group of indie people, and I still want to do that. And we just have to figure out if it's going to be something like this. This thing here with this website is not only is it in person, you can do virtual. So you have a virtual booth on there, and there's people in there who are staying at home. So I think there's 18 retailers that are doing it from home. So they'll be able to come to your booth, ask questions, and like that. So I'm thinking that I'll show this to you guys, and this may be something we can use, we can leverage if we want to do this whole indie summit thing.
So you said you can talk to the retailers directly on the Unova site, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the difference between that and the Plan C distribution group on Facebook?
Well, I mean that's kind of a throw it out there, and you may get a response once in a while. Okay. This one is a direct contact to a person. Okay. So you pull up their profile, you send them a message, and they either respond or they don't respond. Yeah.
So it's like a LinkedIn.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. So it's actually, you can connect your LinkedIn to that. You can connect your LinkedIn, your Twitter to that, so then they can see your profiles on that and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's a whole just virtual meeting space. So they can go on, they can watch your videos, they can look at your PDFs, they can go to your website and everything. And I think it's more of a community more than it is a like just a whole entire group where you get lost in the mission. And I think on that sometimes on that thing where you post something and you may get one like, or someone may respond, but it's not something that everyone's looking at. So you've got you've got a captive audience sometimes on this thing. It has a community section where you can post questions. So I posted, my question was, like a creator retailer connection, how do you make that connection? And someone did respond and say that I get a lot of emails, I don't read them all, call me and I will look at your stuff. But I mean, it's not a guaranteed sale, but it was pretty much, so how do I contact you? Do I call? Do I email? Do I do both?
So this is like work you got to do before attending Comics Pro.
Well, no. This is a random question I just threw out there. So you can just throw random things out into the community, and then people can see it and respond to it.
Okay. Yeah. So Comics Pro, it's an all day event. It's a 2-day event.
It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to be, I guess, tabled all 4 days, or is it
so the tabling it's like an hour and a half on Thursday and an hour and a half on Friday. The rest of the time will be like seminars, and like people will be talking about what's new, what's coming new, kind of like what's going on in the industry, how can we help each other, and things like that.
Okay. So it sounds, from the beginning of all of this, like you got frustrated with the whole Diamond process.
I wouldn't say frustrated. I think that it's like, I work in IT, and the one thing in IT that you don't like is a single point of contact, is a single point of failure. So if I'm the only person that knows about something and I go on vacation or I'm sick, then what happens? So that's the thing that I think they need more reps, or they need to take advantage of their website that's set up to do these things. So to me, I think that's the Diamond will be there, so I'll get to talk to them in person about that kind of stuff. But also Lunar will be there also, so we'll get to pick their brand. Oh, Universal will be there also. The Canadian,
the Canadians. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll have like sometimes, like I said, that I just been throwing. Hey, can I talk? Can we talk? Hey, can we talk on this website? And it's just make it so much easier that they'll know who you are, and then they'll go, "Hey, Marvin, we talked on the community thing. What's your question?"
Very good. So the response there is a hell of a lot more inviting than it is. Okay.
Well, I think because it's more of that kind of that one-on-one communication. It's not just like a blast out there where you're like, "Hey, my book is coming out, boom," and everybody's like, "I don't care." So
right, and that's one of the things that's going down with Plan C. You know, it's just overloaded with my book. There's no interaction.
Right. I mean, how many times have we posted questions on there asking how do we interact with you, and you get almost no response back?
Crickets.
Yeah. So a few people, you'll get a few responses. So I think one of the you got Dan from Impulse Creations. I think it was he at in Oklahoma. Is it Oklahoma? I think Oklahoma.
Okay.
He is the person that I talk to the most from the retail side. Okay. He answers all my questions. He says, "Hey, try this. Hey, do this." He email blasted out for me. He keeps my books out well seen to everybody that's coming to the store. So he's a good resource. Ben from Empire Comics in Sacramento, another person. Like I've been on his show like 4 times already, and always a good resource. Like there's some really good resources out there that want to share information, but I think the way it's structured, that like Dan will speak up a lot. Like you'll see him post a lot on Plan C, but a lot of people to have thoughts don't speak up, or like you got like people like Brian Hibbs. Like I would think he would speak up a lot because he's always the one that wants to share information all the time. But like I think that it was good in the beginning because it was more communication and more talking back in 2020 when it first started. But it's kind of died off, and I wish that we would use it and start communicating more, because there's like you have information that I could use, I can have information that you could use. So it seems like the way it's fallen off is not a good thing for anybody.
Yeah. All right. Now there's a lot of people out in the indie world that they're using this list of about 300 and so independent supported comic shops or comic shops that support independent books. What they don't know is maybe who compiled this vast list of 300 plus stores. So you know that's your list that's floating out there.
Yeah.
And since you made that list and now that you're in Diamond, do you feel the contacts you made with making that list have helped sales when you release in Diamond?
Most definitely, because I like once you curate something like that and you start getting responses and you continue to get responses back. So if I like I said that this last run, I communicated with every store on that list, either through phone calls or emails. And he had help from Grant and his wife. Grant does Beowulf. So us tag teaming that, I mean, it's an invaluable resource, and I'm really glad that I spent the time over a couple of months of just hitting not only Plan C, but like Comics Hub and all the other things, because you go on Comics Hub, you can see all the stores that Comics Hub deals with. So
this is not a one-man.
Right through every one of those stores and get emails, contact people, phone numbers, and everything through that list. So I mean, it's a good thing to use, and I hope that everybody finds it useful and is using that to contact these stores, because stores want to know what's coming out.
Right.
They want to know because like you're dealing with the Diamond Cat. It's a phone book, is what I'll say, and I'm trying to find Joe Schmo in the phone book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost it's impossible. Like there were plenty of times when I talk to people and they said that I'm really glad you contacted me because I would have missed your book in the catalog. Because I'm just look, and both of our stores were gems in the catalog in January, both Beowulf and the Edge.
Nice.
So I mean, it does it? How does that fluctuate with that kind of stuff? As far as I'm looking through this catalog or I'm on the website, and I'm just looking at, I'm mostly going to show, I'm going after the number one. What's number one? But at the same time is, how do I know what that book is about? Like, you don't get like preview PDFs and stuff like that. So me contacting that store was like, oh, I was able to look at your PDF and it looks great. I'm going to order a bunch of copies now. I was only going to order 2. I'm going to get 15 or 20.
1 million. Oh no.
Yeah. I'm going to order. How many you get?
That's what you want, right? You want to hear,
right?
I ordered 500 copies.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, it's like, I mean, it's good to be in the catalog.
Yeah.
It's even better to make sure that you're communicating that your book exists, because it's a big catalog. And I mean, how many people get past the Marvel DC sections?
Right.
Well, Marvel DC don't have sections anymore.
Right.
Well, you know,
the Image.
And Valiant and
right.
Whomever.
Oh, there's no Valiant either, bro. No
Valiant's a dead issue.
I got a few more, but I keep hogging it. Calderon, you got anything for him?
I mean, just the thoughts of how, like I said, this whole survivability thing, and just hooking up with other printers. I mean, with other publishers, maybe. I mean,
right.
Those are the only things that really.
But he's moved past us, right? Marvin is
I wouldn't say I moved past you. I think that I'm putting the ladder down.
Right.
I like that.
The thing is, here's the thing though, is like, because what I'm saying is, while you were gone, Marvin and I were talking, right? And what I had mentioned to him, what I had suggested to him was like, if him reach out to someone like, let's say, like Ben Dunn, right? He also knows the guys from, what was it, Bard?
Yeah, Ben
Bards, right?
Like Daniel, yeah, good dude.
Right. So imagine if he could just say, listen, Ben or the other guy, could I hook up and we print from the same place, and I'll add my books to your shipment, whatever, and just similar. And I'll piggyback on you.
That's different because they know they got to come out on a monthly schedule, right? You, me, Bobby, Jimmy, and Jane try to do that based on our Kickstarters, right? Yeah. And it's not gonna sync up as easily.
No, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Marvin, what he's doing. You got to remember, we're talking about the potentiality of us doing what he's doing, right? Right. So we're not talking about, Kickstarter at the moment. We're talking about, Offset and going through Diamond, and, possibly going through Lunar, right? And
so
doing that sort of thing.
So Penguin is also going to be at the summit too. So I'm gonna jaw at them a bit too.
Nice.
I mean,
and they got that international distribution,
right?
Well, like I said, Universal will be there. So I mean, if we can, I'm starting to wonder now. Are there other distributors for other countries now too?
Yeah. I mean, look at the Japanese market, look at the French market, and France is not just, France, it's France, it's Belgium, it's Algiers, so that's a couple countries over there. Of course, the UK, I mean, comics come out in the UK on a regular basis.
Right.
Get through Diamond.
Right.
But it's then I'm sure they're not the only ones over there. And I feel like I should have done my homework before I even answered that question.
Well, here's something, right? So here let's do your favorite thing, right? Let's do what is that? Fantasy football, right? So one of the things that I saw on another podcast, this guy Perch, he had mentioned, he had asked a question. He was like, "How do you beat Marvel and DC?"
You don't.
Right?
You don't even try to beat them.
No. People are beating them. It's not us, right? And it probably won't be us, right? But how can you go out there and compete, right? What do you have to do, right? What did these other companies do to compete? Who are those companies? So we're looking at Viz, right? We're looking at all these guys who are producing manga, right? And what did they do? Did they focus on the direct market? No. Who did they focus on? Barnes and Nobles. They focused on Walmart. They focused on all those places, right? Much bigger box stores. So, like I said, this is fantasy football, right? If you could sign up a Walmart, right? And they ask you to print 50,000 books and you ship it to them, right?
Can you print up 50,000 books?
Of course, you could print up 1 million books if you have to. Now, can you afford it? That's the other question.
Excuse me. That was the question. Yeah. and with a purchase order, you can. Right. But go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's, like I said, we're playing fantasy football at the moment, right? So the question is, it's not even if it's viable, right? Like, are you willing to extend yourself that far out? Because that's a true extension, right? Yeah, because then you're looking at print costs of $50,000, and that's a deep bill, right? 3,000 and 50,000. That's
100%,
right? Magnitudes greater.
That's where you just walk out your house, you walk into the bank, and you say, "Hey, I got this purchase order."
Right.
Let's talk about a loan because
smart way to
market.
Yeah, let's make this happen.
Or
your question, Calderon. I'm here. I'm hesitating.
Or you're looking for investors. Like right. You've got all these all these websites popping up. Oh, we'll get you investors. We'll get you investors. We'll get you investors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that the way to go?
But outside funding. It's not just investors. If you're moving 50,000 units a month, you're going to get advertisers.
Well, right? One, it wouldn't be monthly because it wouldn't be a comic book, right? Because the venues we're talking about, they're not going to do comic books, right? You got to remember, you got to remember.
You son of a bitch.
Right. Because you got to remember that format we're discussing is very particular to the direct market. It's a good format. I enjoy the format. I still do. But to be honest with you, I think to compete in that other market, you have to be digest or tankobon size, right? Black and white, possibly. You could go in color, but if you do it in black and white, you'll probably be even more viable because the kids, what are they buying? They're buying manga, so all the black and white.
Yeah, but right? For that, that's one thing I can always say. It's untested. It's untested.
It's not untested.
No. My concept, which is untested.
What's your concept?
Is the polybag newsprint, model for $1.25 at Dollar General, and all those other dollar shops, right? But again, the investment needs to be substantial because even newsprint, right? And you got to print up enough volume to get it down
to like 20 cents,
at least 35 cents a book,
right?
That's the you gotta. You can't go beyond that,
right? Now, it's funny because we've discussed that thing with the whole Dollar General thing, and because I know you wanted a poly bag because you want those books back instead of if there are any return.
Well, no, see, you know what? But besides that, it's survivability, right? That's the word you kept bringing up today. And if you go through these stores, you see any book, right, that's open faced is just ravaged. Ravaged. Polybags are not. Right. Well, and if they are, well, God bless you for even after I buy it, it's hard to fucking tear that son of a.
Well, you saw that was it Ollie's? And that's
I don't have Ollie's here. I'm sorry.
They used to have the books just sitting out without polybags. Now they're all polybag now.
Okay.
And they're like 3 packs of books.
See, but that's different. That's the overstock model, right?
Yeah.
That's the surplus, buying for pennies on the dollar and then flipping it for 10 cents. We're trying to put out that new product.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, there are options. There are options, but you gotta work through them, right? You don't want to be the first one through the door because you're the one that's going to get the shit beat out of you, right? but if you're not the first one through the door, you're going to be the last one to claim any sort of real estate.
Right, you're not an outlier, and unfortunately, you have to sometimes be an outlier to really hit that crest where you really make that money.
Right.
I mean, but I think that one of the main problems you have is the lack of big box stores, where they're just like Walmart is your big box store. You've lost your Kmart and your Sears, where you could have been able to. Those stores may have been willing to take a chance on something like that. Like, how do you break the walls down in a Walmart now?
No, I mean, you go to their website. I mean, actually, it's not that hard. I mean, I'm not going to tell you it's not that hard, but you can go to their site. You can apply.
Yeah.
The whole thing. And I mean, it's the only thing is like, look, Antarctic Press did something similar to this years ago. They nearly destroyed them. Right. Because of the returns.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but I think they were producing a little bit more standard size comics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like, look, if I were to go this route, I'm going to go pure manga. I'm just going to go out there. I may like flip the books and do the whole thing so the kids read them, right to left, get the covers produced and have kanji on them and the whole 9 yards. I mean, because it's all about that visibility.
I mean, I would love to try to fucking apply that Dollar General model to fucking Walmart, right? Mm-hmm. But instead of being, on a wire rack in any aisle in the store, I want to be on a clip strip, right, hanging off the rack of chips, right?
Yeah.
Like the clip strip. For those of you who don't know, it's that thin plastic strip that you usually find batteries hanging on randomly within the store.
Right. Yeah.
Put me in the fucking chip aisle. Put the clip strip with the polybag books there, because now I at least got a fucking chance to move, right? Who doesn't go to the chip aisle when you go to Walmart?
Well, true, but there's still. As to whether or not people are going to pick it up, that's a whole other question. I mean, I'd want my
if you're moving it for such a low product, for such a low price point, because you're polybagging and you're newsprinting it, right? Then it becomes that impulse buy,
right?
Which is what comic books need to be, in my opinion. Marvin, you brought up the pharmacies before, right? The bodegas and stuff like that. Comic books are outpriced. They can't be in there anymore. They can't.
Mm-hmm.
You bring that price point down, right? And you make it a product that can become that impulse buy. I'm coming in for, excuse me, maybe this is the old school thinking. I'm coming in for that quarter water, that bag of chips. And look, there's that book for $1.25. Yeah. I only spent $2. I'm happier than a pig in a poke.
Right. So have you have Dollar Tree?
I got Dollar Tree out here, yeah.
Have you seen those final faction toys?
That's why I'm talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, they're not in every store.
Yeah, those things move.
Right, it's their line. They're not in every store, and they're becoming hard to find.
Yeah, yeah, they're going pretty high on secondary market.
Showing that they're moving the product.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, shit. I'm sorry, you're in Diamond, but I'd have no fucking problem taking lead on the sale and saying, I got Marvin stuff, I got Jose stuff, right? I got my stuff, blah, 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 blah. We've got at least a quarter or 2 quarters worth of material to see if this is viable for all of us.
Yeah.
No returns.
Now, is that something baked into the deal already, or is that?
I would love to do that, but I don't have the stroke to do that.
Gotcha.
Right now, the thing is, if you're moving 16 to 26,000 units, because there are $1,600 trees out there, right? If you're moving that many, so that's what 10 units per store. If you can do that, right, that's 16,000 units a month. Hello, sponsorship, right? And that's another revenue stream that you could get.
Right.
But when I did the numbers for this, to bring in $10,000 a month, you got to move a lot of fucking product.
Right.
I feel like a Colombian Coke dealer. You got to move a lot of product away, man. You know.
But this is also why I would rather go the other direction, which is like something like a Walmart with going with Tankobons, because you're not putting out a single book every month.
What's Tankobons? What's that?
Tankobon is just a manga size book.
Okay, I thought it was.
That's what the Japanese refer to them as. They're called Tankobons.
Oh, I thought it was Taika Waititi's competitor.
No. No. So, but those are just a smaller format because here's the thing. I would want my books just to slide in right in between One Piece and whatever other manga there's out there, right? Because I want the kids to just fumble on it. They'll just run through it and be like, "Hey, what's this?" Right?
I would like my books to slide into their paper bag and outside the store. That's what I want.
That's the thought, right? That's where you want to lead to, and you're ignoring the chat. No,
I'm not, Dev. I'm waiting for you. A very lovely young lady who is, an amazing creator, has asked this question, and she made a comment. Hello, you want to go to the top spot? You son of a fucking man. You don't need to reverse American manga to pretend it's Japanese. Saturday AM produces all of their American manga in the English reading format while keeping the manga aesthetic. Like that? I read that without fumbling and after a few drinks from dinner. So,
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. And also Cedric Hood says, "Yeah, I'm reforming my comic book as American manga."
Okay. All right. But is it people jumping on the trend of using the term manga?
Of course.
Like it's like the culinary world. It's fusion. Okay.
But the thing, here's the thing, though. Manga just means comic book in Japanese. Come on, let's really just get off of it, right?
Yeah.
In the end, the thing is, though, is like I said, playing fantasy football. We know who's eating Marvel and DC's lunch, and it's manga.
So, as an overall, right, the parent companies are making the money. All right. So if the parent companies are making the money, then it's more than just eating the lunch, right? The manga, the Viz, the webtoons, they're the ones who have become the industry leaders. All right. And unfortunately, they're the ones going into bookstores to make the majority of their sales. So the comic shops are not being supported or finding ways to build off of the revenue from that. At least not many.
Oh, there we go. Look at this. Look at this. It's hand delivered. Hand delivered.
Was it from the last person that made the comment, Miss Daphne Lage? Yes.
Well, she does live with me.
She does.
She does.
Don't maybe tell your wife.
So yeah, I know, right? Jesus. Didn't I tell you there's 3 of them? But these guys, Apple Black, these guys, they've been selling these things for years, and we just recently found out about them, right? And these guys, they don't do anything like we do. These guys, Kickstarter, unheard of with them. Right. Indiegogo, not even a thought. Comic book shops, not even on their radar. These guys go through Amazon, they go through Walmart, and these guys. These are just small independent publishers out of Africa. Well, I think it's Africa. These guys, I think, are out of Nigeria. One of the creators, I think, is. And I mean, these guys are able to do that. And I'm like, my thing is, why are we not able to?
All right, question then, because this is the first time I'm hearing this. Are they running the studio system the same way that they do in Japan to produce content? To have an outpouring.
This dude got a website. He has a channel like this, and he does his web comic. He does his comic online. Yeah, man. He's drawing it for his fans. Yeah.
Oh shit! Way to go! Is his name Apple Black, or that's the name of the title? Or is
That's
that
the name of the title.
Okay.
Story and art by, I'm gonna mutilate this gentleman's name, so please forgive me. Odunze. Oh, it's O. His last name is Oguguo.
OG
U
UG.
Ogu. Like I said, I'm mutilating the guy's name. So, but it's called Apple Black.
OGUGO.
Ouguo.
Oh, Google.
Okay, if you say so.
Isn't it? I hope. And not trying to knock. Listen, well,
it's backwards.
no, it's not backwards. Yeah. It's backwards.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, man. But I mean, these books. I mean, and they produce them like regular manga. Just like regular.
So you see, all right. So Paul's asking, what's the highest selling American manga? Why compete with others that have other structures? I don't think it's competing. I just think it's somebody trying, or American manga being the new buzzword, right? Just like shared universe being another selling point.
Multiverse,
right? It's not being a selling point. I think they're just trying to catch a little bit of what's firing out there and use some of that shine.
Right. But isn't that what we're all doing?
Of course.
Right. That's what we need.
We need some that shining.
Exactly.
I need some shine. Baby. Oh, you know what got some shine? You know what's got shine?
Oh, there you go.
These Redfall covers from Unstoppable Comics on our last book. Biggie Sticks. And you cannot buy them, ladies and gentlemen, but I've got a new book coming out next month called Limbo, Open Almost All Eternity. It will be available on Kickstarter. We will be live streaming the launch and once a week to promote the book. And during those promotional moments, we will be giving away some of these copies to people that have backed our campaign.
Cool.
Nice.
Thank you both. He's reading the fucking book while I'm doing my goddamn pitch.
What else am I supposed to be doing?
Hold on a second. Let me redo that. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. So when you back my latest book, Limbo, Open Almost All Eternity, you can get you have an opportunity to get these books if you are a backer when we do our random drawings. And I don't know why I was pulling front to back, and I should have just been doing all of them, but it's all right. We're here.
So the gentleman is from Nigeria.
Saturday AM is based in North Carolina.
No, but the artist is from Nigeria.
The artist is from Nigeria. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, the publisher is Saturday AM.
Yes.
Okay, so
but I think it's a small operation. It's just a few guys. It's not like Viz where they got like corporate offices in downtown Manhattan.
Good shit. You know what? Let's get them. There's this podcast. There's this live stream that goes on Sunday called Indie Comics Explained with me and somebody else. I forget this guy's name. What's his name? He loves to play around with the controls while the show is going on, right? And sometimes during the show, he accidentally kicks me. It feels good. It feels good to be the king. It feels good. I like it. Then. No, dude. Try to get one of the reps on the show. Let's talk to them, man. Let's find out how they capture the magic in the bottle.
Yeah. There's them. There's a couple other guys I want to talk to as well. And what's funny is I was talking to a friend of mine about the exact opposite of what we're talking. We were talking about zines and mini comics.
The old ways. The Xerox. Right. Now, Marvin. So the Edge is going to be hitting stores March 8th.
March 8th. March 10th.
issue 2 is in this month's copy of previews coming up.
I think it should be next month's previews.
So you're doing it quarterly.
Yes.
Okay. Now they're going to be able to pick up issue 2 of Beowulf and the Edge.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, get ready. The next show that I'm jumping on, Grant is launching his next Kickstarter on Spinetix.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so let me ask: are you going to continue to do Kickstarters?
Yes, I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to do trades through Kickstarter.
Nice. Yeah, it's that's the funny thing, because I have thought about Diamond. This is not a knock on anybody going to Diamond, but I was going to do the single releases through Kickstarter and the trades through them.
Okay,
well, just want to build up more of a catalog. Let's see how that works. So Spinetix, he's going to be on there when?
At 11.
Oh, 11 tonight.
Yeah.
Get out.
That's what I was saying. I had to jump at 10:30 so I can go and.
Yeah, no. So let's listen. We're wrapping this up, baby. Where can they find you?
So I am at The Edge Comic on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter it's at Marvin Wynn, because someone is still hogging up the. I don't know why Elon Musk hasn't deleted this account. They've never posted. Like, delete it so I can take it.
They're parked, huh?
So this week we will be at Happy Valley Con up by Penn State College, and starting Thursday we'll be at Comics Pro.
Nice, cool. Nice. Calderon.
Yes, I'm JD Calderon, the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, DeviantArt, all under JD Calderon, and you can also check out the OswaldChronicles.com, TallTalesOnline.com. And tomorrow night, I will be on here on YouTube under Indie Comics Explained or under JD Calderon with that guy, the other guy. That guy.
You invited Marvin and not me again? You.
So next week, after Comics Pro, let's hook up and then.
Yeah, no, we'll talk and we'll let everybody know what went down at Comicsburg and how to navigate it if they ever go through that path, right? Cool. Folks, you can find me at unstoppablecomics.com. Unstoppable Comics, the website will have all of our social links on there. So check out the website, and maybe you can pick up, maybe we'll put some of these bad boys up for sale on there, but a maybe. All right. And check out our latest book, Limbo, Open Almost All Eternity, which will be coming to Kickstarter, not Facebook. Will be coming to Kickstarter in March. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're going to your LCS, please ask them about the Edge comic.
Stay on the edge, man. Stay on it.
Peace.
Nice. Have a good night.